The Facebook Rythmia crew. It's a beautiful day in Guanacaste, Costa Rica, as is every Tuesday. We've a lot going on at Rythmia, and I'm on a tight time frame today because I have to film something directly after this. So it's going to be a little bit of a short one today, but I think it's going to be an impactful one. Who's Rythmia? Rythmia is a life advancement center, unlike no other in the world, that uses plant medicine, metaphysical teachings, or food, yoga, meditation, breath work, and classes to bring about this amazing change. A lot of this work has been inspired by traditional plant medicine, as well as Michael Bernard Beckwith and his teachings and teachings of agape and a lot of metaphysical stuff all rolled into one that is designed to bring about a soul merger. And a soul merger is a starting over life event. So, does it work? Well, let's talk about what people say. So since inception, 96.12% of the people who walk through the doors leave reporting that they had a life-changing miracle during their stay, which was this soul merger. 91.87% of them report 6 months later that this was the week that changed their life and that miracle is still working in their life. Amazing stuff. Been a couple people through the door. How many? 13,500. And about 90 a week, every week, are coming through and having this happen to them. Who comes here? People from all walks of life, from athletes to actors and actresses to regular people like you and me, to business leaders, to spiritual leaders. They all come here to have this unique once-in-a-lifetime experience. Now, because of our great success, we've become one of TripAdvisor's top-rated resorts in the world as percentage of 5-star reviews to overall reviews. And more people keep searching us every day. There's, on average, 50,000 new people a week visit our websites and ask for information because this thing is happening. This new way of life advancement is occurring, and it's occurring now at Rythmia in Costa Rica. So I suggest, if you're at all interested in coming, if you are, book now. Book now. We only have 90-some beds, and they're gone every week. Book now. Even if that means you have to book out 2 or 3 months or 4 months, even 5 months, even book it. Book it, because it's just going to keep getting more scarce and more scarce and more scarce, right? This is called What Works 10, which is the 10th installment of this thing of looking at what works in life. And when we're talking about what works, I'm not necessarily addressing how to be rich or how to be super spiritual. I'm talking about becoming a beneficial presence in the planet so that you can feel the feeling of mastery, participation, and community. That's the whole thing. That's I don't know if you remember Jerry Maguire, but that's the Quan. That is it. And that's what I'm talking about. So today we're on short time, but I want to bring up some things that are going to help you reframe. And what do I mean by reframe? The great news is that the universe does not care about your yesterday. It doesn't care about your past failures. It doesn't care about your failed relationships. It doesn't care about your failed businesses. It doesn't care about your failed community efforts. It doesn't care about any of that. It only cares about you at this moment and where you're going, right? So I'm going to tell you some realizations that I had in my last ceremony that I believe are going to help with how you look at life and what we can do to start anew now. The thing with the universe is, if you look at nature, it's always rebirthing. Those dead strands of grass have given way to new strands of grass. The dead branch has given way to a new branch of life. It's constantly renewing itself. It's constantly having a fresh start. And every day, whether you believe it or not, you have a fresh start. Every single day is a fresh start. Every single second of every single day is a fresh start. So how can we get to these things? What I talked about last week is a lot of us wait and wait and wait for every light to turn green before we take the garage, before we leave the garage and get on the street. You'll never get out of the garage because never are all the lights green, ever. Because as you look down the road, in a long, long, long road, these lights are green, those are yellow, those are red. By the time those are green, these are yellow and those are red. You can't get out that way. You have to be great now. And what do I mean by be great now? I mean immediately start trying to be the best, most unique version of yourself today. To be great now. What a great thing. Be great now. Don't wait till you're all better. Be great now. Don't wait till you're a super accomplished musician to start playing in public. Do not wait. Be great now. Do things now. And I have to tell you, this is how to take a look at this. The first thing you have to realize is how rare you are. You're a walking 400 trillion to one shot. You are a miracle beyond any description. The chance of that, of the egg and the sperm meeting up and creating you, 400 trillion to one. Now, I get different takes on this all the time because I'm not a mathematician, right? But I think it's the equivalent of winning super lottery 13 or 15 days in a row. The odds of you being you. And now that you have that gift, now that you have that miracle, what are you going to spend it on? Are you going to spend it on talking poorly about other people? How about writing some bad stuff in the internet under an assumed name and talking bad about people? How about sitting at lunch with your girlfriends or guy friends talking bad about a person when they go to the bathroom? Is that how you're going to spend your time? Is that your 400 trillion to one shot? Is that all of your ancestry and all that they went through and the wars that they fought and the lions that they fought and all of these things to create you to have this shot for you to do that? Does that make sense? So I don't think it does. So the first thing that we got to do is realize that we're a miracle. The second thing we got to do is realize we are both feet in. Whether we like it or not, we are all in. And by all in, I mean this. Not one of us is getting out of here alive. So if you know that you're not getting out of here alive, then wow. Now the thing is, the spirit lives on, but this body, this incarnation, this reunion with these souls that we know, has a lifespan on it. When we realize that, we have to come to the conclusion that we're all in. So if we're all in, we might as well play to win. And when I say play to win, I mean win for everybody. We might as well decide to become a beneficial presence on the planet. And that thought, your freedom, your starting over, is one thought away. Just thinking that is your freedom, that you're both feet in. Now, I like this thing, the Tina defense. There is no alternative, right? That's Tina. There is no alternative. I had to do it because there was no alternative. Well, I'm going to tell you what. In your life, there is no alternative. You're going to be here. You're going to die. Your body's going to quit. And in that last 20 years of existence might not be the most fun as your body starts to quit and your friends start to die and all those things. It can be rich, but it might not be the most fun. So what is the thing? Get into gear now. There is no alternative. There is no other way out of this. There is no other way to do it. And if we've learned anything from history, surveys, studies, we've learned that the true juice in life, and I hate that term, but the The contentment that can be garnered from life comes out of giving, not receiving. So when we get in this groove, when we realize that we're a walking miracle, when we know it's a 400 trillion to one shot, when we say, hey, I want to do the right thing with this gift of life because I'm probably coming back, or because I'm not, whatever your beliefs are, but I want to get the most out of this thing. I want to give to the world the most that I can give. All of a sudden, we can start to get into this general feeling of mastery and contentment after a long period of time. But the decision happens now. What I hate to see happen is the surprise on someone's face when they realize it's too late. When they realize on their last day, that is the remorse, the regret, the retching, the, oh my God, I screwed up this chance. Don't screw this chance up. Sit down with yourself, take stock and say, this is my day. This is the day that I'm going to change. This is the day that I'm going to realize that this is a finite thing and I better get going now. And once we do that and we walk forward with honoring our agreements to ourselves, our whole life changes. Everything in it changes. If you see, it happens in nature. The chick never tries to stay in the egg. As soon as they can, they're busting out of the egg. It's safer in the egg. It's safer in the egg. But he's dying to get out, and he never tries to go back. You never see a chick get out and try to put the egg back together and go in. This is you. This is your chance. That belief system that you have around you, that you don't want to do it yet, is your egg. Get out of it. Get into the game. Get into the game today. Realize these things, that you're both feet in, that there is no alternative, that there's no alternate ending. They all end the same way. What we can do is we can change the middle. And to change that, it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. It doesn't matter if you failed. It doesn't matter how bad you screwed up. What matters is you make that change today and you go forward. That's it. That's the whole thing. What has 331 plant medicine ceremonies got me to know? That's what it's gotten me to know. To don't waste time talking about people, to have a real definitive plan of how you want to become a beneficial presence on the planet, to work that plan every day, to honor all agreements with yourself in that process. That's what it's taught me. A lot of us, when I see, the folks that come here tend to already be in that kind of mindset. But when I'm out in the real world, out in the other world, and I'm talking to people and they're in victim consciousness, and I thought, oh my God, you're 43 and you still think that way. You didn't even get in the race yet. Or you're 53 or 28 or whatever, and you didn't get in the race yet. The sooner you get in the race, the sooner you can get to mastery. The sooner you can get to contentment, to fulfillment. People think they can live in bliss all the time. I've never seen it. I've seen bliss in plant ceremonies and orgasms and short little times, right? But what you can get is contentment and fulfillment. And honestly, as you get older, it has a higher point value than temporary bliss. It does. So by all means, let's get in the game. Let's get in the game, and let's get in the game together. And by getting the game together, what I mean is this. Let's realize the value of our differences. Nobody has ever built a company. Nobody has ever built a community. Nobody has ever built a team without having people of great differences. So instead of trying to make everybody like you and being mad when they're not, why not allow them to be the best, most creative, most helpful, most beneficial presence of the version that they are? Why not allow that? And once you allow that, you'll notice that you'll allow that within you, right? And once you allow that within you, you stop talking about them. Very interesting stuff. And then you can recruit and you can enlist people in this beneficial presence thing. And it's the fun of fun because great community comes out of a collective initiative to become a beneficial presence or to make something a beneficial presence. What does that mean? That's what rythmia is. It's a collective effort to make this unit a beneficial presence. That's why so many people are in love with it. From the people that work here to the people that come here to the people whose lives it touches. That is it. That's it. So let's become that, right? Let's start today. Let's forget about, and it's really, when I am in the regular world and I talk to someone for just a couple minutes, I see where they're at. And if their first thing is a talk about something that hurt them in the past, if that's their first thing, right? I can see they're in victim consciousness. And it's the hardest thing is to get someone out of victim consciousness. It's the hardest thing because they really believe that they're in the situation they're in because Tom slept with their girlfriend, or they're in the situation they're in because their kid screwed something up, or they have a bad boss, or their husband was the wrong guy, or da-da, and you can tell immediately. So what I can tell you is this: all of the people who are truly a beneficial presence, and I believe it's about 9% of the people, in my guess, that 9% of the people carry the other 81%. I believe that. But if you look at those people, not one of them is without a killer excuse to not do it. Not one of them hasn't been hurt by a love affair. Not one of them hasn't been let down by a parent. Not one of their lives in some way has not been touched by alcohol or drug addiction. Not one of them has had a perfect childhood. It's the same story. It's their ability to deal with that story and to move forward that makes them that 9%, in that 9%. My idea, my hope is that 9% over the next 20 years grows to 20% and then to 30%. And then pretty soon, many people want to be a beneficial presence on the planet and are willing to do the work to get there. That's the hope. That's the great hope. Why? You know why? To make the earth a better place. Just to make the earth a better place, right? As simple as that. And those people who are participating in that are going to have a more unique, fulfilled, and content experience of life. They're going to get to taste the juice. I hate saying that, but they are. Okay. All right. That's it for this week because I have something else to run to right now. But God bless you. God keep you. God hold you. And we will see you next week. Cheers.